Bird Automotive Gurgaon for the launch of Retail.NEXT, BMW's new dealership concept in India. Joining us is Mr. Vikram Pawah, CEO and President of BMW Group India, to discuss how Retail.NEXT is going to transform the customer experience in the Indian luxury automotive segment. Mr. Pawah, what sets Retail.NEXT apart from your other traditional luxury car dealerships?
Well, so I think Retail.NEXT is a transformation, it's a change, and we want to change the game in the auto industry because I've seen auto industry grow over the years since I've been in it, and nothing much has changed from a experiential point of view. So of course we have created great new facilities over the time, and I remember when we entered in India with BMW, we created a new benchmark of facilities that were huge, had great display of cars, and of course in a luxurious way. But I think the society has been changing a lot, the customers have been changing, the definition of luxury has been changing from traditional to the new format of luxury, which talks about sustainability, which talks about engagement, which talks about involvement, and also having a value which is attached to the brand. So looking at all that, what was happening in the environment, in how people are consuming luxury, what their new values about luxury consumption are, we decided to create this great experience center for our customers, where it's more about the customer and living spaces, and the brand and the product is a part of it. Whereas earlier it used to be more the product as the lead and then the customer being attached to it. Here it's a customer space, and when you look around and go around this new showroom, you can see that it's all about customer spaces, right? That's what we try to do. So it's a new way of engaging with customer, giving them an experience that is memorable, no matter what they're visiting us for. If they're casually visiting us just to look at a car, they're visiting us for a service visit, for buying some lifestyle material, or even just coming and talking about a used car. So whatever their touch point could be, the idea is to give them a memorable experience and a space that they really enjoy.
So how does Retail.NEXT align with BMW's global retail strategy? And are there any India-specific adaptations?
So this is a global strategy that we are adapting in India, but it's not a cookie-cutter approach. So we are, it's quite flexible approach depending on the country, what works in a country, what the value system, cultural elements are. We can adapt it accordingly. So you can see that we have a lot of digital elements here in India. Right? We have a big screen with a configurator where customers can actually configure their cars as a live, as you can see, in a huge format. They can change the lighting to say it's daytime, nighttime, how does the colors look there. So it's more engaging because India, you know, we are a younger population, so we're a little bit more digital natives than the rest of the world. So those are the changes. There's also some small little Indian elements we are trying to put into these dealerships now, because I think it's important now for luxury to be connected to the society in a different way. So you would see that as we go up the stairs to the second floor, there's a big art feature in this showroom in Gurgaon, which is about the mudras of yoga. Right? That's a pure Indian thing, and it's a huge artwork that demonstrates the Indian culture of yoga. Every showroom that will change in India from now till 2026, so we're going to change all our touch points to this new format. Each one of them will have a unique feature which will relate to that area. Okay, so for example, when we did the first pilot in Agra for this format, before we finalized this format in a big way, we did a few pilots. So Agra was one of them. So we used the marble from Agra in the hospitality area. The marble mesh area was used to create that factor of relating to Agra. So you'll see us connecting with those local elements across the country, and I think that makes us more closer to India and relevant for customers as well.
So how does Retail.NEXT aim to enhance the customer experience from the interest phase to the post-purchase support?
So I think what we're trying to do here is create a seamless interaction between all these phases of customer journey, because we know that customers do a lot of interactions on digital space to start with, and it's an exciting space. If you look at it, it's quite interactive, it's quite engaging. It has the imagery and the color schemes, things that excite you. And I think when they come down to the showroom, we want to reflect exactly that similar kind of experience with those digital walls, with the screens that we have, with the kind of textures and material that we are using in the dealership, so that they feel they're coming from that digital space directly into this physical space in a seamless way. But it doesn't end there. It's not only about the design of the format or of the dealership. It's also about what roles, what processes we have in place at the dealership that engage with them in a better way. So like I was explaining you that it is no more the concept that they have to go to different areas to do the interaction. So if you wanted to interact about your service needs of a car, you could still do it in this environment. You don't need to go to a separate area. Okay, which was the case earlier, that you would go to a separate entrance, go to a service advisor and try to do all the stuff there. Earlier also, all the paperwork used to happen in a room and the delivery of the car used to happen in a separate area. Now all that can happen right there in that space that is defined for the handover. So it enhances the customer experience because it's convenient, it's engaging, and it's connected to the product all the time.
So how do you envision the luxury automotive space to evolve in the next 5 years?
I think there's a lot of room for India luxury segment or premium segment to grow, because I always say this, that compared to the size of the country, the way our economy is growing, the way our industry is, so we are now the third largest auto market in the world, right, in passenger vehicles. So, but when you look at the premium space, we stand nowhere in that ranking across the world, because we are still around 1% or so, or just above 1% of the total market. So there's a lot of headroom for there to grow, and my expectation is with the younger generation coming through in the consumption fold, with the infrastructure growing the way it is right now, with the products that we are launching, and also the faster adoption of EVs and the new technologies in India, I expect that to grow at a faster pace now. And I think that's what we've been seeing in the last 2 or 3 years. If you look at it, the premium segment has been growing at a faster pace than the rest of the industry, which is true for this year as well as of now. So yes, lots of hope on India that finally things are happening. We can see the green shoots of this market growing. Is the pace fast enough? Probably not for my appetite. I would like that pace to be a little bit more faster. And I think we are doing everything in our control by bringing great products in to excite the market, to expand the segment size on a month-by-month basis.
So looking ahead, what do you think is going to be the biggest challenge and the biggest opportunity for the luxury automotive space?
I think the biggest opportunity for the luxury automotive space, and especially for BMW when I look at it, is how we can help India adapt to the electric mobility very quickly, because I have a very strong belief that in luxury mobility, electric is the right solution. Our customers are progressive. They want to adapt to the latest technologies. They are conscious about sustainability and environment, and I think by adapting to electric, it is an absolute right statement they make, and they contribute towards that agenda for the country as well. But more importantly, on a practical level, most of our customers in luxury have got their own parking space. So we provide a free wall box charger, so they don't have to rely on public charging network so much. So that means they can charge their car at their home or office very easily. And they normally have more than one car in their household. So if they were doing a lot of intercity runs, for example, till the time the infrastructure develops for charging, they can still use a other car, and for the intra-city run, they can use the electric and still save a lot of money as well, and oil for the country or fuel bill for the country, because we have seen now we've sold over 2,000 electric cars in luxury space, and they've traveled almost 65 lakh kilometers. Right? That's a huge run in the last 2 years that has happened. So clearly shows that great penetration there, great usage in the country. So I think great opportunity there for us to do that, to introduce all these new technologies to the country and to those progressive customers. In terms of challenge also is similar. I think the policy stability needs to be there always. I think people are really adapting to electric mobility because it's becoming more and more affordable, equivalent to the traditional engines. And in our case, in BMW case, we've always made sure that they are at eye level. The pricing is at eye level, so that people choose based on their requirement, not based on pricing itself. But certain policies like the road tax changing overnight, suddenly somebody withdrawing the exemption on road tax for EVs distorts the demand. I think that's for me is a challenge, a little bit consistency on the policy side. I really appreciate the way the government has clearly made an agenda that yes, we will provide incentive on the GST side, and really appreciate that they're keeping it standard, because I think that long-term view is required on this one to India to reach to net zero by 2070. I think that goal we totally subscribe for. So as a group between us, industry, the government, and the consumer and the policymaker, we need to be consistent towards that agenda. For me, that's the key challenge to tackle.
That's great, Mr. Pawah. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Diksha. Thank you for having me over.